So this video is to help describe what I'm asking you guys to do when it comes to the next steps for your illustrated map. Most of you have identified the kind of map you'd like to do. Some of you have put together a list of some of the areas of special interest, and some of you have put together a slideshow of the individual places, sites that might go with each of those places. Now the next step is to go ahead and begin sketching out some of those places you'd like to use, deciding what images will actually appear, what illustrations will actually appear on your map. So to kind of describe that, this is the Google map that I made. One of the steps that I asked you guys to go through for the places on my map, and this is a map of some of the places my wife and I have gone on vacation. And again, what I had said is that the order of it doesn't really matter. I mean, mine was actually able to be made into a kind of a road trip, but there's not going to be roads, there's not going to be blue lines on the actual map itself, just the places and the general shape of the land that's going to be there. I then turned that into this, which is it kind of lays over the top, but not exactly. It's the same thing, but I imagine that this is the size of my piece of paper, and I'm going to arrange things kind of this way. And again, each of the places and how they're going to fit. Then the slideshow, I created a slideshow which had some of the places one of them is the Lostine River, which is over in eastern Oregon. And so this is one of the lakes. This is a type of flower, and this is one of the rivers that we camped on. So now I have to decide, okay, what am I going to actually draw? And I think for me, I'm going to try to draw a little bit of the landscape, and then I'm going to focus in on one specific thing, so whether it's a flower or a bird or a type of fruit or some sort of kind of the land and the animals or the plants that are nearby. So that's going to be part of what I do, because my wife and I have taken a lot of pictures and have traveled from place to place. So what I've done is I've just taken a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to use that to begin practicing sketching out how I think something's going to look. So one of the things that I'm going to look for is this Indian paintbrush. And so again, I have this image, it's right here, and I want to draw that. So to kind of get an idea of how I want this to appear, I'm just going to sketch out kind of what this looks like. So again, I'm going to draw it bigger probably than it's going to appear on the actual map, but that's just because I want to kind of mess around with the actual colors. Like, what's it going to look like? How am I going to actually do this? And so that's kind of the idea here. What am I going to actually do when I go to draw this thing out? So there's some leaves, and the background's not as important as it is just kind of getting the basic shape of things on there. And then I have some colored pencils, and so I can use my colored pencils to kind of sketch out some ideas. Again, if I want to go over that with ink, I could certainly do that with ink first, but again, I'm just kind of playing with colors to try to see what is this going to look like when I actually go to color it in. Now, I'm using some watercolor pencils. So if I want to actually practice with watercolor, I can. Again, just going to layer some color to kind of darken in some of the spots. But again, I'm just kind of practicing what it's actually going to look like. So there's some yellow that's kind of first. And that kind of is a little bit of a border of orange. And again, the cool thing is that if I want to take the time to go and grab my watercolor brush and some water, I can do that, no big deal. And out to the outside edge, that's the So, and I can go back in. So that's pretty close to what I'm looking for. It's just a practice. It's just a chance to say, okay, well, this is what my picture looks like. And can I draw that? What is that going to look like? And again, I haven't done any of the background, and it's just a rough sketch. And that's what I want. I want rough sketches of all of the things that I think I'm going to include. So that's the big project for this week, is to take the time to go through and make some decisions and then to draw. They need to be in color. You can be more detailed or less detailed. You can have multiple versions on the same sheet. And again, the big thing this week is going to be you guys asking me, telling me what you need. So if you need some watercolor pencils, or if you need some actual watercolor paints, brushes, whether you need some big sheets of watercolor paper, all of that's going to be a big decision that you're going to need to make. And then make sure you let me know and I'll get it to you. We'll meet at the school, or I can drop it by your house, and whatever's convenient for you. So just let me know.